So we're doing a fantasy draft today, but we're going to have the greatest players available. And I'm not talking the alumni teams, because the alumni teams, those aren't even the best players in the game. I'm talking the best players. We're seeing Connor McDavid, we're seeing Wayne Gretzky, Jaromir Jagr, Mario Lemieux, Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin. All of these guys are going to be in the upcoming draft. The St. Louis Blues are getting the 10th overall pick. That's the team I'm going to be managing. We're going to see how many Stanley Cups we can win over the next 5 years. So right off the rip here, I could not tell you what's going on. This game's already gone absolutely absurd. Cale Makar number 1, Quinn Hughes number 2. McDavid's going 3 to the Winnipeg Jets. Nathan MacKinnon 4, Austin Matthews 5. Where is Wayne Gretzky? He hasn't been selected yet. The St. Louis Blues with the 10th overall pick are going to have a chance at drafting Wayne Gretzky. Bobby Orr is also available here. He's 75 years old, but he is available. Once he's drafted, he's going to drop down to 27 years old. But why is he 75 years old? Like all the other guys available here, such as Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Gordie Howe, all of them have dropped down to 26, 27 years old. Not Bobby Orr. He's going to be 75. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about that, but Bobby Orr, you're going to be a 75-year-old playing in the NHL. That is interesting. But Wayne Gretzky, obviously, I'm going to be selecting you here. The fact that you didn't get selected until the 10th overall pick is absolutely absurd. And to make it even more confusing, the salary cap's off. So there's no reason that you shouldn't have gone number 1 overall. The reason I turned the salary cap off is because we see a lot of guys like this. Bobby Orr, 97 overall, 75 years old, getting paid $13 million. A lot of these guys are getting absolute bags. I still haven't figured out how Bobby Orr is 75 years old, but the second I get an opportunity to draft him, I probably will be. I mean, I could technically draft him right here, but instead I'm going to go with Marty Brodeur. Marty Brodeur in the second round here, 94 overall. That's going to be a great selection for us. So I think it's pretty clear that we're going to be building a super team. But the thing is, every single team is going to be a super team. There's going to be no bad teams in the NHL. The only way you're a bad team is if you completely screwed something up. So I'm going to go with Sergei Savard with this selection, but if Bobby Orr is available in the next round, I'm going to be selecting him. So it looks like Bobby Orr was finally selected, so we're not going to be able to take him here. There are a bunch of great options though. We got Zdeno Chara, medium top 4. That's incredibly disrespectful for Zdeno Chara. Mike McDonald is going to be available. Dale Howardchuck's going to be available. I want to try to bring in an elite sniper to play alongside Wayne Gretzky, and Dale Howardchuck, I think, you're going to be that guy. So just looking at the guys available here, I'm not going to be selecting Zdeno Chara just because he has medium top 4 potential, and Ron Francis, I'm not going to select you because of that low elite potential. More than likely, I'm going to draft somebody here, and then we're going to make a trade for you guys later down the line. Jeremy Roenick, you have high elite potential. That means you're going to have a ton of trade value. I could probably trade you for both Ron Francis and Zdeno Chara in one deal. Now I feel like this is a great time to mention, on top of adding a ton of legends and keeping some of the best players in the league, I also kept a lot of the great young players. We're going to see David Jiricek here, who's only an 82 overall, but he has medium elite potential. Zach Benson, medium elite potential. Nemec, medium elite potential. So on top of adding legends to all the NHL superstars, we also kept all the amazing young players. So I'm going to go ahead and make one more selection here, but after I make this pick, I'm going to allow the CPU to do the rest of the drafting. Phil Housley, I think you could be a great defenseman for us. You're only 27 years old. So yeah, we're making that pick right there. So just looking at some of the teams in the NHL, some are definitely a lot better than others. Like the Boston Bruins, their entire forward core almost has all X factors. The only guys that don't, Brett Suter and Sam Bennett, because yes, Sam Bennett's still here. And then you take a look at a team like the Buffalo Sabres, who have Josh Roy on the 4th line. So some teams did a really good job drafting. Some other teams, not really too sure what they were cooking up. Like the Calgary Flames, how do you have a 67 overall? I added over 100 legends into the NHL, and you're telling me you have a 67 overall in your 4th line. Like, there's no excuse for that. So just looking at our St. Louis Blues here, Wayne Gretzky, Dale Howardchuck, and Jerome McGinley on the 1st line, Connor Kerr, Jeremy Roenick, and Alex Tanguay on the 2nd. We have a great bottom 6 here until you get to the 4th line. Nick Robertson, Trent Frederick, Nick Paul. I don't know how you guys got drafted. Like, I added over 100 NHL legends, and somehow guys like Nick Paul, Trent Frederick, and Nick Robertson are still getting drafted. Even with the salary cap off, those guys are being selected. Sergei Savard and Phil Housley are going to be leading the defense, but when it comes to the next 2 pairings, considering there's so many NHL legends here, I think we have a very weak defense. But don't worry, we got Martin Brodeur in between the pipes, 94 overall, a franchise star. He's going to be able to hold it down for us. Now I want to take a quick look at Bobby Orr here, and it looks like he has dropped to 27 years old, and now I'm really regretting not drafting this man. Like, we could have got him in the 5th round because he was 75 years old. Well, now he's 27. Yeah, he would have been really valuable. Now I will say, just looking at the team here, I thought a lot of these guys would have had a lot more trade value. Like Wayne Gretzky, obviously he has the most. Sergei Savard, he's got a ton. Dale Howardchuck, he's got a ton as well. But Jeremy Roenick, Phil Housley, Jerome McGinley, you're telling me this is the amount of trade value you have? I was expecting it to be way higher. I was thinking everyone was going to be with the likes of Sergei Savard, but I guess that's not really the case here. So I do want to clarify right now, when it comes to making the roster, it's not going to be 100% perfect here. Like, we are going to see the odd duplicate player, because when I went through the alumni teams, as we know, Wayne Gretzky's on like 4 alumni teams, so I tried to make sure we didn't have a ton of duplicates. When it comes to Phil Housley though, we're going to see him on multiple teams here. Yeah, there's 3 Phil Housleys. Didn't realize I added 3 Phil Housleys to the league, but you know what? We're going to vibe. Actually, there's 4 Phil Housleys. Yeah, so shout out to Phil Housley. Do we just make a Phil Housley defense? I'm not going to lie. Like, just trade for 4 of them? I think that would be pretty funny, but we're not going to do that. Also, there's multiple Brad Parks here. Just ignore all of that, but it's time to focus up here. We're trying to win multiple Stanley Cups with the St. Louis Blues. I can't bother looking at every single roster and looking at every single player. We just have to upgrade this team. So let's immediately start making trades. Here's going to be Keandre Miller and a first round pick to some team. Which team's it going to be? I'm not too sure yet. But while I try to figure out which team it's going to be, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 70k by the end of the month, so if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Now the first trade is going to be completed with the Ottawa Senators. Here's going to be Keandre Miller and a second round pick sent over. We're bringing in St. Louis legend Jay Bouwmeester, high elite potential, 87 overall, a great defensive defenseman for us, and that's exactly what we're looking for on this team. So Keandre Miller and a second round pick's being sent over, and we're going to get this deal done fairly easily. So I think it's important to note, in a rebuild like this, draft picks mean absolutely nothing, because if we're trading picks away, we're getting superstar players. So Nick Paul, a first, second, and third round picks going to be sent over to the San Jose Sharks. We're going to pick up Danny Heatley in this deal, 88 overall, and we're also going to pick up Shane Doan. So 2 amazing pieces for our forward core. If we can somehow get both these guys, we're going to be winning a Stanley Cup this season. Now they might be saying no to that deal, but what if I include another third round pick? I don't think this third round pick is going to be the difference, but maybe another forward could be. Like Alex Tanguay, I actually wouldn't mind trading you away here, because we would get an upgrade with Danny Heatley, and then we're getting an upgrade to the bottom 6 with Shane Doan. We're going to do this deal right here, so I'm going to offer that over. They're going to be saying no, but we'll just throw in some more picks. So hopefully this second round pick for 2025 is going to be the difference maker, and it looks like it will be, but I do want to make one more trade. We're going to make one more deal before we head into next season. A first and JJ Moser sent over to the Buffalo Sabres. Albelin and a third round pick are both going to be acquired here. Albelin's going to be helping the defense a ton here, 87 overall. He's going to be great for us. JJ Moser, you're not a bad defenseman by any means, but you're only an 84 overall, and I'll definitely take the 87 here. They're going to be saying no to that deal, but they just want that lucrative 7th round pick. So here's a 7th round pick for 2024, and just like that, we've completed our third move, and that's going to be the last move. So after making those moves, this is what the forward core is looking like. It saw some massive upgrades here. Danny Heatley's joined the team. Shane Doan's going to be joined the team. Dumart, you're going to be moving down to the 4th line. You're going to be holding it down with Trent Frederick and Nick Robertson. When it comes to the defense, Jay Bouwmeester, you're going to be great for us. Albelin, you're also going to be great for us. 2 87s here. The second pairing got a massive boost here. The third pairing having 2 84 overalls, they can hold it down. And then when it comes to goaltending, obviously that's not going to be changing whatsoever. 94 overall, Martin Brodeur, and then we got Edwards backing him up, an 85 overall, 2 fantastic goaltenders. I think we could be looking at potentially a 65 win season. But then again, every single other NHL team in the league is absolutely elite right now. There's no bad teams. So we'll just simulate up to the trade deadline, see what teams are thinking. There's going to be a couple guys on the trade block. You never know, we might be able to pull off a massive deal. So we made to the trade deadline. The St. Louis Blues, what happened with this team? I thought we were way better than this. Like, we're 10th in the entire league right now, a 35-22-6 record. I feel like a 35-22-6 record should be better than 10th in the entire league, but the offense isn't quite good enough here. The defense isn't quite good enough. There's actually a handful of things here that need to be improved. I mean, hold on, Dallas, how are you 3rd in the entire league? Your goal differential is 2. How are you 3rd in the entire league with a goal differential of 2? Something about this isn't right. There's no reason the Dallas Stars should be that good. Like, we have Wayne Gretzky on our team, 73 points, 34 goals, 39 assists. Dale Howardchuk's looking great so far, 30 goals, 41 assists for 71 points. Phil Housley's great. Jerome McGinley's not that great, 47 points on the top line. You're playing with Wayne Gretzky and Dale Howardchuk, and you have 47 points. Bro, you got to be stepping it up. And then when it comes to Martin Brodeur, these numbers just aren't good enough for Marty Brodeur. 32 wins, 3 shots, a 916, a 281. You got to be posting at least a 930 and a 220. But you know what? That just tells me I have to improve the team in front of us. We don't have a good enough team here, and I got to make some adjustments. Okay, if I can somehow pull this trade off, it's actually going to be really funny. But Nick Robertson, Trent Frederick, and I'll give you a couple draft picks, maybe 2 third round picks. Hopefully that's going to be enough. I want to see if we can get Willie O'Reed and Saku Koivu. Now, both of these guys would play fourth line minutes for us, but they would be massive upgrades. Like, we're getting an 84 here and an 85. Two great players are going to play in our bottom six. They're going to be saying no to that deal. I doubt we get this trade done. Like, I don't think a fourth round is going to be enough to be the difference here. They're still going to say no to that. What if I give you another third round pick? I completely forgot I have multiple third round picks here. So 3 third rounders, is that going to be enough? They're going to say no to that. I think we might have to do this one by one. Like, I'm pretty sure I could trade Nick Robertson straight up for Willie O'Reed. And if we can get this deal done, then we're definitely getting Saku Koivu on the team. Yeah, this is going to be easy. Like, Saku Koivu, no question about it. He's got some good trade value. But Trent Frederick, 3 third round picks and a fourth rounder, I think that might be enough. They're saying no because we just need to improve this package a little bit. We'll just flip some picks. So if I trade a 4th, 5th, and 6th round pick over to the New Jersey Devils, we can get a second rounder, and then we can flip that second. So with this trade complete, Saku Koivu is going to be coming to the team here. It's going to be a 3rd, a 2nd, and Trent Frederick. We're going to be winning a Stanley Cup here. There's no question about it. I'm actually a bit surprised they're saying no to that deal. I'll give you another 3rd round pick. This should be more than enough. So the forward core is elite here. The defensive core is good enough, but next season I think we will be adjusting that. But this team definitely should be competing for a Stanley Cup, no question about it. So with the additions we made, we're going to see Willie O'Reed playing some third line minutes for us, allowing this line to get a +2 boost. And then with Saku Koivu and Shane Doan on the 4th line, they're going to be getting a +1 boost. The team's looking really great here, but wait till we get to year number 5. I'm going to be trading at least 10 years worth of picks. We're going to be an absolute super team. So the St. Louis Blues are going to be finishing 7th in the entire league this season. We're going to be winning the division, a 47-28-7 record. Since the trade deadline, it's no surprise we've been one of the best teams in the entire league. I think there's a very good chance this team wins a Stanley Cup this season. Like, we have Wayne Gretzky, that's one thing. Like, having Wayne Gretzky on your team is going to help so much. 48 goals, 49 assists, 97 points. Obviously, this isn't the Wayne Gretzky production that we were expecting, but are we really surprised here? Like, it's the NHL 24 simulation. His production's not even going to be close. Dale Hawerchuk, 91 points here. Jerome McGinley's picking up 64. Saku Koivu, what'd you do since you joined the team? You were playing some top line minutes in Montreal, but since you joined the St. Louis Blues, 8 points in 19 games and -2. Yeah, I'm a bit concerned. But you know what? We're going to find a way to win when it matters most. And Marty Brodeur, he knows how to win games. 43 wins, 4 shutouts, and 917 to 274. I need these numbers to translate into the postseason. And who do we have to take on in the first round? Well, it's going to be the Vegas Golden Knights. Not really too sure who's on Vegas. We might as well take a look, though. So looking at the Vegas Golden Knights, this team is no joke. John Belvo, William Nylander, Brad Marchand the first line, Ray Ferraro, Adam Oates, and then Zuccarello on the second line. Given how many NHL legends I added, how is this your forward core? Like Nito Niederreiter, Thomas Novak, and Nyquist on the 4th line. I mean, these are still decent players. 85, 84, 84. You guys are pretty solid. When it comes to the defense, Dennis Potvin and Sergei Gonchar are going to be leading the way. Then you got Jeff Petrie, Josh Morrissey, Torrey Krug, Mike Green. That's actually a really good defensive core. They might not be the greatest defensively, though. But then when it comes to in between the pipes, it's a battle of the great goaltenders. Roberto Luongo, Marty Turco. We're going to have Roberto Luongo taking on Marty Brodeur. 2 of the greatest goaltenders of all time, and one of them is going to be falling in the first round. So let the postseason get underway here. We're going to simulate the first 2 games and see how we're looking. We're taking game 1 7-0. We're taking game 2 6-3. We got this locked down. There's no way we're going to be losing this series, but I might have spoken a bit too soon. We're going to be dropping game 3, but we're responding in game 4. So in game 5, we're going to be closing this out and moving on to the second round. Maybe not quite yet. I always speak too soon, like every single time I speak too soon, and now we're off to game 7. This is probably why I shouldn't yap as much. So it's been an offensive battle between these two teams. Neither team has played great defensively. We're picking up the first 2 goals of the game. Wayne Gretzky's going to be picking up 1 the second, but Sergei Gonchar and Brad Marchand are both picking up goals for Vegas, so we have a 1-goal game entering the 3rd period here, and in the 3rd period, we're going to blow this lead. We really just lost this game. Like, we had a 3-1 series lead, and we're losing to the Vegas Golden Knights in the first round. That's not how I wanted to start this video. I was looking to win 5 Stanley Cups in 5 years. But nope, we're allowing 4 goals in game 7, 5 goals in game 6, 6 goals in game 5. 15 goals allowed in 3 games. You hate to see it. So it's very clear what we have to do moving into next season. We're bringing in a new defensive core. Nah, like real talk, I'm absolutely speechless. Following in the first round after having a 3-1 series lead, the Philadelphia Flyers and Chicago Blackhawks are going to match up in the Stanley Cup final. We're going to see the Philadelphia Flyers coming out on top. And then when it comes to postseason scoring, Jerome McGinley led the way for us, but that's not going to be good enough. Like 11 points is great. Wayne Gretzky, you picked up 10. Dale Hawerchuk, you picked up 9 here. But we lost in the first round after having a 3-1 series lead. I already know for a fact Marty Brodeur's numbers are going to look absolutely terrible. An 889 to 359. I'm just shaking my head at this. When it comes to our Stanley Cup winning goaltender, Henrik Lundqvist on the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't like that. I don't like that in the slightest. Connor Hellebuyck on the Blackhawks is going to make it to the Stanley Cup final. Dominic Hasek on the Seattle Kraken. He was doing pretty good. Mike Vernon on the Detroit Red Wings. But yeah, Henrik Lundqvist on the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't like it. Not in the slightest. I also guess it wouldn't hurt if I looked at the league leading scorers here. And we're going to see Austin Matthews with the Edmonton Oilers at the top, 103 points. Then we're going to see R. Wayne Gretzky with 97. Sam Reinhart with the Chicago Blackhawks, 94 points. Joe Sakic, 92. Okay, this was very interesting. Mario Lemieux, he's going to be playing for the Dallas Stars. We're going to see Sidney Crosby on the Seattle Kraken. But I was honestly not expecting to see this many St. Louis Blues in the top 10. Like 97 points and 91 should not get you in the top 10 here. When it comes to goaltenders, Dominik Hasek, he's going to lead the way, 44 wins. Mario Brodeur coming in second with 43. Sorokin, 42. Billy Smith's picking up 42. And then Shesterkin, he's going to round out the top 5 with 40. But season number 1's come to a close here. Obviously, we have to fix up the defense here. There's no reason we should be allowing 15 goals in a 3-game span. Like, we have all the right pieces here. We just didn't play good defensively. If we fix our defensive issues, we're going to be fine. So we have the 187th overall pick here, and the odds of us getting a good player are incredibly low. So I'm just going to take a random flyer on this guy right here. Medium 7D potential. I was hoping for that medium elite, but there was zero chance he was going to have it. All right, now this is interesting. Willie O'Reed, we're going to be keeping you on this team for $1.6 million. Last season, you were getting paid something like $10 million, and now you only want 1.6. We can make it work. All right, never mind. He's saying no to that deal because he didn't play any minutes for us last season. So yeah, here's 1.7 million. Actually, I'll make that 1.8 million for 1 year. I'll overpay you by a ton here just to keep you on the team. Also, when it comes to everyone else here, they can all walk. It's just guys that play in the AHL. Now, the only rule I'm going to make when it comes to free agency is I'm allowed to sign players, but they have to be legends. So I can't sign Jake Getzel, I can't sign Patty King, I can't sign Marcia. So if I'm going to be signing somebody, it has to be a legend that was brought back to the NHL. So just based on what's available here, we're not making any signings. So our defense has to be a lot better next season. And one guy that could certainly make it better, Tim Horton, 86 overall, good defensive defenseman. He would help this team a ton. So Marcus Peterson, a 2nd and 3rd round pick, is going to be sent over to the Anaheim Ducks. They're going to say no to that, but a 7th round will make the difference. So we're receiving a massive upgrade to the defensive core here. And I believe by making this move, our entire team now is just full of legends. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think we're pretty close. So after blowing a 3-1 series lead, we made some improvements over the offseason, and this team's looking incredible. Wayne Gretzky, Jerome McGinley, and Jeremy Roenick are going to man that top line. Then it's going to be Danny Heatley, Howard Chuck, and Saku Koivu on the second. The bottom 6 is looking great. The lowest overall has been a couple 85s here. The offense shouldn't have any issues. When it comes to the defense, that's certainly better. Look at the line chemistry boost. +5, +2, +2. The lowest overall being an 84, and we'll probably upgrade that at the trade deadline. And then when it comes to goaltending, Marty Brodeur, we know you can be the guy for us. Let's just not collapse like we did last season. Like, as long as this team doesn't have a massive collapse, we are going to be competing for a Stanley Cup. Like, we should have made to the conference finals last season. We had a 3-1 series lead. We were basically guaranteed the second round. And then this team decided to vanish. They're going to disappear for 3 games, and that's going to cost us. That can't happen again. So the St. Louis Blues are absolutely locked in here. Second in the entire league, a 39, 18, and 7 record at the trade deadline. The offense is one of the best in the entire league. It's the 3rd best. Meanwhile, when it comes to the defense, that's what I'm most proud of. We have one of the best defenses here. You'll love to see it. However, there are still a handful of teams that are better than us defensively, so we might want to trade for another defenseman here. Dale Hawerchuk, 77 points, but Wayne Gretzky are washed, plain and simple. 70 points in 64 games. You should probably have about 110 points right now. Jerome McGinley, you're way better this season, 64 points already. Phil Housley, you're doing your thing, 53 points. But I just feel like this team's been a massive disappointment so far. Martin Brodeur, I'm expecting these numbers to be better. You have a 34, 14, and 3 record, but a 908 and a 274. It just should be better than that. Then again, with the amount of legends in the NHL right now, the scoring is a lot higher than it normally is. So those numbers right there actually are probably better than I think. But as I just mentioned, it probably wouldn't hurt if we picked up another defenseman here. Just looking at who's available, Daniel Sedin would be an interesting pickup. We don't really need him here, but he would certainly be an interesting pickup. Now we're going to make one trade here at the deadline. That's going to be exchanging defenseman with the Islanders. We're bringing Solomon to the team, 86 overall. He's going to be a great offensive defenseman for us. I think he might even play some second pairing minutes. Not too sure yet. We're going to give up one of our good defensemen along with the 1st round pick, but we're certainly going to be getting an upgrade here. So now our defensive core is all 86 overalls and above. That should be enough in order for us to win. So with the way we're going to run our defensive lines, we're going to see a defensive defenseman on every single line here, and that's what I was actually looking for. So we have elite defensemen on every single line, and then we got some great offensive help here. Solomon's going to be a great addition to that second line to play alongside Jay Bouwmeester. I'm expecting big things from this team. This team better be hot heading into the postseason, and they better not blow another 3-1 series lead. When the season came to an end, St. Louis is going to be finishing second with a 55, 20, and 7 record, with the best offense in the entire league, and I think we also had the best defense, the 3rd best defense. I mean, it was a difference of 2 goals, so you could basically say we had the best defense as well. So we're the best offensive, one of the best defensive. Dale Hawerchuk's leading the way with 100 points. Wayne Gretzky, 88 points here. Never thought I'd see the day where Wayne Gretzky's only picking up 88 points in 82 games. Bro's a disappointment. I can't believe I drafted you 8th overall, or 10th overall, whatever it was. Joe McGinley, 83 points here. Jeremy Roenick, he's picking up 69. But this team's firing on all cylinders right now. Like, every single line's doing great, and that includes the goaltending. Almost identical numbers from these two guys, a 911 and 269 from Marty Brodeur, and then when it comes to Edwards, he's posting a 911 and a 276. So both goaltenders are looking great right now, but it doesn't matter how they look during the regular season. You have to be good in the playoffs. We saw what happened last season. That can't happen again here. Now, real talk, St. Louis, you have to step up here. I can't have you playing bad in any of these games. I need you to win 3 straight. We're going to win game 1, we're winning game 2, and we're going to win game 3 here. A sweep over the Calgary Flames to start the postseason off. You better not blow a 3-0 series lead. What are we doing here? What are we really doing? We're dropping game 4 8-5. Okay, no, this is getting ridiculous. You better not lose game 6. If you lose game 6, I'm losing my mind here. We're winning that one in overtime. That was way too close. Now, through the first 3 games, St. Louis was easily the best team in the playoffs. But then game 4 happened, and then game 5 happened. And now I'm not as confident in this team. But you know what? If we can change it up against the Minnesota Wild, take them down in a sweep, or absolutely dominate them through 5 games, then I'll believe in this team again. So St. Louis, I set the expectations that you sweep the Minnesota Wild. Unfortunately, you're not going to be doing that. But the second thing I said was, if you can't sweep the Minnesota Wild, then just take them out in 5 games here. And that's what you were able to do. I got full confidence in the St. Louis Blues once again here. So at the beginning of the season, we completed a trade with the Anaheim Ducks where we picked up Tim Horton. Now we're going to be matching him against the Anaheim Ducks in the conference finals. Obviously, that team's not going to be quite as strong. Like, we took one of their better players away. It's the St. Louis Blues versus the Anaheim Ducks. The reigning Stanley Cup champions and the Philadelphia Flyers have made it back to the conference finals once again. They're looking to go back to back, but Tampa's looking to stop that. Now, let's not even focus about a matchup against the Philadelphia Flyers. Like, we have to take down the Anaheim Ducks first. We're going to be dropping game number 1, but we're winning game 2. Game 3 is going to the Anaheim Ducks, but we're getting a shutout in game number 4 here. Game 5 is going to be a huge one. Who's taking the lead in this series? Back-to-back shutouts from Marty Brodeur. Can you do it in 3 straight games? Unfortunately not. We're going to need game 7. So we got game 7 between the Anaheim Ducks and St. Louis Blues. We got to be taking this game. We're picking up 2 goals in the first period. We have a 3-goal lead entering the third. As long as we don't have a massive collapse like we did last postseason, we're going to be all right here. What's going to happen in the third period? I'm a bit concerned. I mean, we're allowing 2 goals, but we picked up another 3. A dominant 6-2 victory. We're in the Stanley Cup final. So we advance to the Stanley Cup final. It's going to be the Philadelphia Flyers taking on the reigning Stanley Cup champions in the Philadelphia Flyers. Philadelphia has been great in the postseason. They were taken to game 7 in the first round, but it was a 6-game series in the second round. In the conference finals, it was a 5-game series, so based on that logic, we're going to see a 4-game sweep in the Stanley Cup final. Except Philly's not going to be sweeping us, we're going to be sweeping them. So here we go, the Stanley Cup final. All we have to do is win 4 games here, and we're going to be Stanley Cup champions. We're going to be exchanging games with Philly so far. The series has been split 2-2, so game 5 is going to be a massive one. Who's going to be stealing that one away? The Philadelphia Flyers are going to win that one. Henrik Lundqvist has been amazing so far, but we're about to score a bunch of goals on that man. We're taking game 6 and we're taking game 7. So Philly's goaltending has been the big difference maker. Henrik Lundqvist has been absolutely elite, but you know what? We're finally going to find the back of the net on him. We're picking up a shorthanded goal. In the second period, we're exchanging goals here. Danny Heatley and Tolvanen of all players is picking up a goal here. It's a 1-goal game entering the third period, and in the third period, Jay Bouwmeester, he's going to step up when it matters. Game 7, winner takes home the Stanley Cup. It all comes down to 1 game. So here we go, game 7 for the Stanley Cup. The St. Louis Blues and Philadelphia Flyers. We're picking up the first 3 goals of the game. In the second period, though, Philly's finally waking up. They're picking up 2 goals. But Dale Hawerchuk, he's going to pick up a big-time goal in Henrik Lundqvist. A 2-goal lead entering the third period here, but we're not even going to need that 2-goal lead because we're going to pick up another 3 goals here. 7 goals in game 7. When it mattered most, the offense woke up, and we're Stanley Cup champions. So we've won Stanley Cup number 1 here. It's time to make this a 4-peat. Now, if the St. Louis Blues are winning a Stanley Cup here, are we really surprised that the best player on the team is Wayne Gretzky? 13 goals, 14 assists for 27 points here. Dale Hawerchuk was great too. He had 29 points. But you know who the real difference maker was? That was certainly Marty Brodeur here. 16 wins, 2 shots, a 914, a 263. Comparing these numbers to what he did in the last postseason, a massive difference. Like, this man went from posting an 889, a 359 to a 914, a 263. These are the numbers I need every single postseason. Now that you've been able to do it once, I'm expecting it every year. So we're in a tough position here. Like, Saku Koivu needs an extension. Willie O'Reed, he's going to need an extension. How are we going to be able to afford both of these amazing players right here? I know exactly how, by giving them exactly what they want. You want 4.5 million, here you go. Don't know why you're only asking 4.5 million. Like, there's no salary cap, you can get as much as you want. Willie O'Reed, here's 1.5 million. So there we go. They're both brought back to the team. No, but seriously, why are they only asking for that much? Like, you're an 88 overall and an 85 overall. Ask for $10 million. There's no salary cap. Get your money up. So as I said, I'm allowed to make some free agent signings when it comes to legends. And one legend we're going to bring to the team here, Ray Ferraro, 87 overall. He's got exact top 6 potential. I'm going to give him a bag for that. $7 million for the next 2. He was only asking for 4.3, but I think that's still a fair deal. All right, so this is what we're going to do. It's going to be Edwards and a first round pick over to the Sharks. We're going to get Dan Boyle and a third round pick, and then those assets are going to be flipped. I guess we're not going to be able to get the third round pick, but we can still get Dan Boyle after including a 7th. The fact that we have to give up a 7th rounder in this deal as well is a bit ridiculous, but you know what? We're getting the guy we need, and now we can flip him. So here's the new package that we're going to send over to the Minnesota Wild, and hopefully they're going to be accepting immediately here. I guess they want those third round picks. Like, these third round picks are super valuable, and I guess that's going to be the difference here. I'm going to include both of them, and now we're getting this deal done. So you might have been wondering, who is our backup goaltender going to be? Well, it's pretty obvious. Cam Ward, you're going to be playing for the St. Louis Blues now, and you're going to help us get another Stanley Cup. All you need to do is hold it down as the backup, and I know you can do that. But now that I've signed Cam Ward, do I actually want him? Because Brizgalov is an option. I wouldn't mind having Brizgalov on the team. You know what? We're rocking with Cam Ward. He was the guy I signed, and he's the guy we're going to roll with. Now, the team's looking incredibly similar to last season, except there's a few new additions. Lanny McDonald, you're going to be joining the team here, playing on the second line, 89 overall, allowing that second line to get a +5 boost. And then when it comes to the third line, Ray Ferraro, you're going to be holding it down as the centerman here. We're getting a +2 boost. Technically, we could do something like this, but then we don't get a boost on the fourth line. We only get a +1 on the third, so I think I'd rather do this. When it comes to the defense, that's looking absolutely identical here. We made 0 changes. Then when it comes to goaltending, we did make 1 change. Cam Ward's going to be the backup this season, but Marty Brodeur, he's still going to be the number 1 guy. Now, with the way this team's looking and the amount of assets we have, I don't expect us to be making any trades at the deadline, so we're just going to simulate right to the end of the season, go 82-0, and then 16-0 in the playoffs. Now, although the St. Louis Blues continue to win here, we're not winning enough. Second in the entire league, a 52-21-9 record. What are you guys doing? How are we not the best team in the entire league? Like, Vegas is ahead of us? That makes no sense. But it makes a lot more sense once you look at the scoring. Wayne Gretzky, 81 points. 81 points is leading the way. We don't have a single player above a point a game here. I know we have amazing depth scoring, but you're telling me we don't have a single point a game player on this team? I have no words to explain that. Martin Brodeur, you're incredible once again. 41 wins, 6 shots, and 918 and 265. But how do we not have a single player above a point a game? Like, that's making absolutely no sense. Like, out of all players in the entire league, with all these legends added, Johnny Gaudreau is going to lead the way with 106 points. Connor McDavid's 98 here. Pierre Forsberg's going to have 96. This is very interesting. Very interesting to say the least. And then Cole Caulfield, he's also going to be one of our top 10 scorers. He's got 93 points. Yeah, we're just going to leave it at that. So we're moving on to the first round. We're taking on the Edmonton Oilers with the reigning Stanley Cup champions, second in the entire league here. I do expect this team to do big things. But then again, we didn't have a single point a game scorer, so I just feel like something stupid's going to happen here. So we got the Edmonton Oilers in the first round here. The St. Louis Blues got to make a statement. We got to show that we're still one of the best teams in the entire league. We're splitting the series after losing game number 1. We got to win game 3 here. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. Moving on to game 4 here. We can't be losing that one. We got to be taking a commanding 3-1 series lead, and that's exactly what we're doing. And we're going to close this out in game number 5 because that's exactly what the St. Louis Blues do. You know what else they do? Blow 3-1 series leads. And that's what we're doing. Okay, now whatever you do, do not blow a 3-1 series lead here. Like, we can't blow a 3-1 series lead once again this video. Danny Heatley's going to be picking up the first goal of the game. In the second, we're going to be doubling down. So we have a 2-0 lead entering the third period. We should be all right here. That didn't just happen. We did not lose because Darnell Nurse picked up 2 goals. Dylan Strome, Sorelli, and Wyatt Johnston. 4 active players are scoring goals. 5 goals allowed in the third period. I really don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say whatsoever. We got outplayed. That happened. That really just happened. We were looking to go back to back, but for the second time in 3 years, we blew a 3-1 series lead. It's ridiculous. There is no reason this team should have any problem scoring, and there is no reason this team should have any problem keeping the puck out of our net. And to make things even worse here, the only team finishing ahead of us in the standings, being the Vegas Golden Knights, are going to win the Stanley Cup in 7 games. That should have been us. So we have 2 years left to win 2 more Stanley Cups. We're going to try to complete a 4-peat here, and then we decide to forget what hockey is and then play horrible in the final 3 games, and that's going to cost us the series. Marty Brodeur, you were actually pretty good. You had a 918 to 281. I mean, the 281's not the best, but a 918's really good. So yeah, I couldn't tell you what happened with this team. I mean, Wayne Gretzky, 8 points. Howard Chuck's picking up 7. Jerome McGinn, the 5. But yeah, this team just collapsed when we needed them most. Lanny McDonald, 2 points in 7 games. Not ideal, especially if you're playing second line minutes. So we have to go through and re-sign the entire team here. Everyone's needing an extension, but I'm just going to give everyone exactly what they want. Everyone's going to be rejoining the team. We have more than enough money for everyone. I'm not going to show you every single extension here because we would be here for a minute. Well, what is this? Pierre Turgeon available in free agency. Brad Richards available in free agency. Another Brad Brad Richards because I accidentally put a duplicate in. We got Dave Keon. Look at all the amazing players available. Who am I going to pick up? If not all of them. All right, here's $10.6 million for you. Here's $11 million for you. One of the Brad Richards, it looks like he's going to be getting $9.5 million. Exactly $9.5 million. All right, I'll take it. We'll do $8.5 million for you, make that $8.6 million. And to finish it all off here, we don't really need a new backup goaltender, but Ron Hextall, here's $3.1 million. So we've moved on to our 9th different team in order to get a trade done, and we're going with Guy Lapointe. Don't really care what it is. All I know is you're going to play for this team. They're saying no to this deal. I don't care what it takes. I will give you this forward right here. Whether or not you want him, you're going to be accepting this deal. This is ridiculous. Like, this is honestly ridiculous. The fact that the Winnipeg Jets are not accepting this deal. I am giving you way more than enough. So if I do something stupid like this and get my first round pick, that's a move. It's not a smart move, but it's a move. So I've been very fair with building this team. I haven't gone out in free agency and spent $17 million, $18 million on players. I've absolutely not done that. Wayne Gretzky, Lanny McDonald, Danny Heatley, Pierre Turgeon, Howard Chuck, and Jerome McGinley on that second line. It's safe to say we have a decent team here. I think we could probably finish top 5. When it comes to the defense, you know what? I think these guys can hold it down here. Like, the lowest overall being an 86. Honestly, I think that might be too bad. I don't think we can have an 86 on our third pairing. We might be allowing 18 goals a game. Like, I just don't think the defense is going to be good enough here. Marty Brodeur, Ron Hextall. Like, we have a pretty weak goaltending tandem. If we finished bottom 5 in the entire league, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, this team just clearly isn't going to be good enough to win. Watch me make a joke like that and then something stupid actually happens here and we somehow do finish bottom 5. It's the NHL 24 simulation. We blew a 3-1 series lead last season when we definitely shouldn't have, and in year number 1 we also blew a 3-1 series lead, so really anything's possible. Alright, I'm sorry, but ain't no way we're third in the entire league with the team I've built here. A 52, 26, and 4 record. Yeah, maybe the players on our team don't have the greatest line fits, but we have the greatest players of all time. Like, we have absolute legends from top to bottom, and you're telling me we can't sit at the top of the league. Wayne Gretzky, I don't even know how you're only picking up 80 points here. Like, it just blows my mind that you're only picking up 80 points when you probably should be picking up 120 every single season. Yeah, there's amazing forward depth here, and we have everyone scoring on this team. Okay, Ron Hextall, an 886 here and a 334. There is no excuse for that. There is no reason you should have numbers like this. I don't care if we didn't play defense in front of you. I don't care if we were only focused on offense. There is no way your numbers should be that bad. I also guess it wouldn't hurt if I looked at the entire league here and saw what the scoring is, because yeah, the scoring in this video has been very interesting. David Pastrnak is going to lead the way, 103 points. Brett Hull's going to be picking up 98 here. Peter Forsberg 94, and then Nico Hischier 91 points. At the beginning of this video, we looked at the Boston Bruins and they had Nico Hischier on the 4th line. Now he's 4th in league scoring. I have just completely given up with this game making any logic. Edmonton Oilers in the first round. Alright, let's make this a quick sweep. Alright, we got to focus up here. We're not losing to the Edmonton Oilers once again. We're winning game 1. In game 2, we're going to be dropping that one, but we're responding in game 3. It's going to be 8 big time goals. Okay, how is this series tied? Like, what is going on here? Do not lose game 5. We're going to be winning game 5. Close it out in game 6. If we're off to game 7, I already know we're going to be losing. We beat the Edmonton Oilers. It's an amazing day. So we beat the Edmonton Oilers. It's an amazing day. I honestly didn't think it was even going to be possible. But you know what? We beat Edmonton. Now we got to focus on our next matchup. That's going to be us taking on the Minnesota Wild. So we got past the Edmonton Oilers. Now we just have to get past the Minnesota Wild. I feel like this matchup should be a bit easier for us. But you know what? It's a 2-1 series, so anything can happen moving into game 4 here. We're going to be taking a 3-1 series lead, but we're known for blowing these. As long as we don't lose this game, yeah, we lost. We're about to blow a 3-1 series lead. I've seen this before way too many times. It's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous. So if we lose this game, we're not going to see who wins the Stanley Cup. We're not going to see what our postseason scoring was. We're just immediately moving into the trades and making for next season. I might not even show you the teams. I might just show you the final team. We're picking up a goal in the first period. In the second, we're picking up another 2 goals here. But that means nothing. We've allowed 5 goals in 1 period before. That better not happen again here. We're picking up another 2. Alright, we're winning. That's all that matters. So we've made to the conference finals after almost blowing a 3-1 series lead. Every single time we're up 3-1, I get incredibly concerned. But you know what? If you don't want to be up 3-1 in the series, just make it a 4-0 sweep. We got the Vancouver Canucks up next. Let's just sweep this team. I can't afford going to game 7 again. So as I said, we just have to make this a quick 4-0 series against the Vancouver Canucks, and it looks like that's what we're going to do. A 3-0 series. Now it's a 3-1 series. So we're about to lose 4 games in a row here. Never mind, we made to the Stanley Cup final. And we're going to make this a 4-game series against the Philadelphia Flyers, taking them down to sweep. So we're up 3-0 at one point. We're losing game number 4, making it a 3-1 series. I'm very concerned now, but I guess I don't have to be. The St. Louis Blues are Stanley Cup champions once again. I've been doubting this team way too much. Like, we were 3rd in the entire league. We're a fantastic team here. And of course, Wayne Gretzky's not leading the way. It's Jerome McGinley. I was fully expecting that to be Wayne Gretzky. But you know what? Jerome McGinley McGinley, I gotta give respect where respect is due. You were that big time player for us. Dale Howard-Chuck, you were also looking amazing. 14 goals. Wayne Gretzky, 13 goals, 10 assists for 23 points in 23 games, and you were only +1. How? Just how? Like, how does that happen? Lanny McDonald, you were -1. Brad Richards, -3. Danny Heatley, -4. I think we gotta bring in a new coach. We just have to bring in a new coach that has better line fits. Marty Brodeur, 16 wins here, 2 shots, and 913 and 284. So we're moving into our final season. We have one more year to win another Stanley Cup, and I've already decided what I'm going to be doing for the final season. Whether you agree or disagree with it, I think it's going to be very entertaining. So as I mentioned, I already figured out what I'm going to do for the final season. A guy like Phil Housley, he's pretty valuable. And now he's going to be joining our team. But you might be thinking, well, Phil Housley's already on your team. Yeah, we're about to run 4 Phil Housleys. Like, our defense, it's going to be Phil Housley, then another Phil Housley, and then I'm going to get the 2 other duplicates. We're going to have 4 Phil Housley on the team. Is that cheating? Maybe, but that doesn't matter. So we already have 2 Phil Housley on the team. It's time to acquire another one. And this one we're going to be picking up from the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're going to be saying no to this deal right here. We'll throw a couple draft picks in the mix and get it done. So here's a 3rd and 4th rounder, and I think that should be enough for Phil Housley. They're going to be saying no to that. Do I have to give up a 2nd round pick? I don't really want to. Here's another 3rd rounder. Hopefully that's going to be enough to get this deal done. Maybe I have to throw another player in this deal. And you know what? We do have Cam Ward, who I did sign for multiple years, so I'm going to add him into this deal. They're going to be still saying no to that. Okay, this is a bit OD. But you know what? I want 4 Phil Housley, so I'm going to have to do something like this. We're just going to have to keep on trading. How are we actually going to get this deal done? I mean, I could just make it really simple on myself, and I could trade some of our good players away. And I think that's what we're going to do here, because I can probably pick up some of these guys in free agency. We can get some replacements. So yeah, both these guys over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Phil Housley, welcome to the team. So this is going to be the final deal. Tim Horton, you're back over to the Toronto Maple Leafs along with Brad Richards, and our 4th Phil Housley is going to be joining the team here. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be straight Phil Housley for our defense. But honestly, I'm down for the memes here. I didn't mean to put in all those duplicate players, but since I did, I might as well just bring them all to our team. Alright, so we're going to finish off our final season here, and of course, that means we got to give out some extensions. We're throwing everyone bags here. I don't care how old you are, I don't care what your overall is, you're getting overpaid and you're going to be rejoining this team. So for our final season, of course, we're going to get stupid here. We're just bringing superstars to the team, and it's starting with Jaromir Jagr, 95 overall. Welcome to the St. Louis Blues. How much do you want? $13 million? We can do that. But you know what? I don't think Jagr's going to be enough. Brett Hall, you're also joined the team here. Here's $13 million. Joe Sakic, you're also joined the team here. What do you want? I'll give you $12 million. How about a bit more than $12 million? How about we do 12.5? Yeah, 12.5 for the next 7, even though we're only doing 1 more season. And then to finish it all off, we're going to bring 2 more players to the team. We got to start with Eric Lindros. We'll do $11.5 million for 4 years. And then Teemu Selanne, you're going to be the final player. But I actually lied. Teemu Selanne, you won't be the final player because I want to bring 1 defenseman. We've been signing all forwards in free agency. Let's sign a defenseman. Who's that going to be? Brian Leach, a no-brainer. He's going to be joining the team. He's going to play some 3rd pairing minutes, maybe some 2nd pairing minutes. I haven't really decided. Do I want Phil Housley playing with Phil Housley? Like, we could have 4 Phil Housleys playing together. That could be interesting. So this is going to be our 82-0 team. Wayne Gretzky, Pierre Turgeon, Jaromir Jagr on the top line. Every single player on this line has a perfect fit. They're getting a +5 boost. They're going to be unstoppable. Wayne Gretzky is going to be 103 overall when he's on the ice. The second line, incredible as well. Joe Sakic, Howard-Chuck, and Brett Hall are going to be holding it down here. Teemu Selanne, Eric Lindros, Danny Heatley, Jeremy Roenick, Lanny McDonald, Jerome McGinley on the 4th line. Yeah, it's going to be an unstoppable offense. Then when it comes to the defense, Sergei Savard, Brian Leach, they're going to hold down that top pairing. Then we have Phil Housley with Phil Housley with Phil Housley with Phil Housley. Some of them have better fits than others. And then when it comes to goaltending, of course, we have the legend Martin Brodeur. Backing him up is going to be Ron Hextall. He's going to get into a fight from time to time here. This team better win a Stanley Cup. Like, if this team doesn't repeat, I'm going to lose my mind. Like, I don't think it's possible to build a better team than what we have right here. So with that being said, we're breaking the win record. We're going 82-0, 16-0 in the postseason, or we're getting swept in the playoffs and no in between. I give up. I truly give up. 2nd in the entire league, a 53, 22, and 7 record. How does this even happen? Like, the only thing the Tampa Bay Lightning were better at was defense, and it was by 1 goal. When it came to offense, we scored 37 more goals, but yet they somehow had 1 more point than us. This is honestly just ridiculous. Like, with the team we have, there's no reason that we shouldn't be scoring 190,000 goals a season. Wayne Gretzky, 54 goals here, 53 assists for 98 points. Joe Sakic, 80. Pierre Turgeon, 80. Jaromir Jagr, only 67 points. Now, this is stupid. Like, Jagr, Turgeon, and Wayne Gretzky all on the first line together with a perfect fit. Every single guy that was on the first line, a perfect fit. Wayne Gretzky, perfect. Pierre Turgeon, he was also perfect there. And then when it comes to Jaromir Jagr, what was he? Perfect on the first line. And you're telling me 67 points is the most that Jagr's going to be picking up. When it comes to goaltending, I don't care about these numbers. Marty Brodeur, you actually had a massive fall off, so I'm a bit concerned. Instead of taking on the Edmonton Oilers in the first round, we're going to have the Calgary Flames. If we are going to take on Edmonton, it's going to be in the conference finals. But we got to take this one game at a time. I said at the beginning of the season, it's 16-0 or 0-4. It's one of the two. We're either getting swept or we're going perfect. So let the postseason begin here. We're going to be starting off against the Calgary Flames. Of course, we're winning game number 1 here. We're taking game 2. It's going to be a clean sweep over the Calgary Flames. They're not messing with us. So a sweep over the Calgary Flames is allowing us to advance to the second round here. But what's happening in the first round? The Edmonton Oilers falling to the Seattle Kraken. The only team that can beat us is falling in the first round. We're good from here on out. So we swept the Calgary Flames, and we're looking to do the exact same thing here, except we're going to be losing game 1 and game 3. So we split the series with the Dallas Stars. That shouldn't be happening here. But you know what? We're going to win game number 5, and then we're going to close out in game 6 with 7 goals. Make that 6 goals. I was close enough. We got the Seattle Kraken up next. We're 4 games away from making it to the Stanley Cup final for the second year in a row, and now we're 4 games away from winning the Stanley Cup. So I don't recall if this is the 3rd or 4th time we've seen the Philadelphia Flyers make it to the Stanley Cup final, but I know that we matched up against them one time in the Cup final already, and we were able to take them down. It's time for us to do that again here. Philly's been one of the most dominant franchises. Henrik Lundqvist has been that guy in between the pipes, but you know what? St. Louis has done an amazing job building their team here. They're 12-2 in the postseason, and they don't plan on losing any more games. So it all comes down to this one final series against the Philadelphia Flyers. The St. Louis Blues have the chance to go back-to-back here, and they're going to sweep the Philadelphia Flyers. 16-2 in the postseason, one of the most dominant performances we've ever seen, and Marty Brodeur, he's going to lead the way, and he's going to finish it off with a shutout in Game 4. So in the final games of the video, this team stepped up when they had to, completing a sweep over the Philadelphia Flyers. Joe Sakic, 24 points here. Howard Chuck's picking up 20. Eric Lindros is picking up 20. Pierre Turgeon, 19. Wayne Gretzky, 18, including 11 goals to lead the team in goal scoring. And of course, Martin Brodeur, he was phenomenal. These numbers are actually insane. 16 wins, 1 loss, 1 OT loss, 2 shutouts, a 937 and a 190. Without Martin Brodeur, we're certainly not winning 1 Stanley Cup, but we definitely wouldn't be winning 3. But I think it's very clear what the difference was. Phil Housley, and then this Phil Housley, then this Phil Housley, and this Phil Housley. Phil Housley was the key guy in us winning this final Stanley Cup. So if you made it to the end of the video, comment Phil Housley, because this guy was something special.